What's up, guys? So today we're going to talk about budget optics, specifically the Pinty Pro here. This is about 80 bucks off Amazon. And the reason I'm doing this, because I deal with a lot of higher end optics most of the time. That's what I deal with because predominantly I'm a long range precision shooter. That's just what I love to do. But today, you know, I also deal with a lot of AR-15s and AK-47 variants. And what I'm trying to figure out is this going to be worth the money to you? I mean, 80 bucks, that's not exactly chump change, but still, it's not 160 bucks or $500-600 that you might spend on an EOTech, or maybe $300-500 bucks on an aim point. This is not really meant to compete with that. This is supposed to be very good for the money. It's supposed to hold zero. It's supposed to be a pretty decent brightness settings. This has 6 brightness settings on it. But right now, we're just mainly going to test this out. Is it weather resistant? Is it shockproof up to 308, as they say? We'll probably check it out on a 12 gauge that has harsher recoil than a 308. And we'll just see how well this thing holds up. So here we have the Pinty list of the specs, the finished power, brightness, click value, and so forth. It also has an illustration of what it looks like. It comes in a fairly sturdy box, as you'll see right here. Just pull the tab here, open it up. You'll see here the optic, the mount, all of that stuff. It has the little flip-up covers. Fairly nice finish for what it is. It's a black oxide finish. You also have a Allen wrench here that you can actually adjust your elevation. You can adjust your windage here if you want to use the laser. I'm not really big on the laser, but it seems like it works pretty well, and it's actually not that bad compared to a lot of other lasers. It's actually about 70 bucks or 80 bucks. So anyways, not real bad. It does have the standard little, you know, Weaver Picatinny sort of mount here, and it does have the battery illustration here, so you'll be able to open this up. And it is a waterproof design, or at least water resistant. You open this up and you'll see the O-ring right here. The threads are a little bit rough here, but it doesn't want to cross thread when you put this on. It does lock in pretty good. It's pretty smooth. It's not rough or anything, so you lock that back down, finger tight. And I do like this feature here as well. This, as you should be able to see right here, is the little cap for the windage elevation. And what's really cool about it is it has this little ridge here, and that fits in this slot, so you can adjust. Hopefully you can hear that. And the clicks feel pretty good for what they are. I mean, most red dots don't have the best tactile clicks anyways. So let's go ahead and check out what it looks like through this. It's a bright day out here. Sun is shining, about 90 degrees. And you'll be able to see that it's flickering on camera, but it doesn't look that way on the optic. The glass is very clear. You can see through that very well. It doesn't have any tint to it, like a bluish or grayish tint or anything like that. And the one thing I do not like is the it's kind of an obstructive emitter here. It gets in the way of the field of view. We're going to see how that works out on the optic, but so far, very bright settings. 6 settings on here. This is on the brightest setting. All of these are adjusted using this side panel here. You'll notice you have your elevation up and down. You'll also notice you have a laser. You just press this on, press this off. When you do press the red dot on, you press this on. That's the button right here, all the way to the right, and you'll hold that for like 3 seconds. And that's fairly easy to figure out. I figured it out without looking at any information. It really didn't come with much of a instruction book or sort of manual, but it does work okay. One thing I will mention is these little covers here. They are not very hard to get off. I'm pretty sure you're going to lose these. Unless you do something, you're going to lose them. This one did not want to come off. This one does. That's something to keep in mind as well. It's daytime bright as well, guys. It's not coming across very well on camera, but it is very bright. Not the brightest I've ever seen, but it is bright though. All right, so we have it sighted in at 25 yards. We started here, and believe it or not, the clicks aren't really bad on this Pinty Optic compared to some that's cost $300 before. I've seen clicks that would not work right, and this one seems to adjust fairly well. We started here, we moved a little bit. We were off as far as the way we bore sighted it. We were pretty close, but not exactly right. Then we shot here, that's 3 shots. That's 1 shot here. Then we have them all inside the diamond, and that's pretty close to where this rifle shoots. Pay attention to the parallax because that can affect you. These are set at, I believe, 200 meters. So if you don't have that right, it will affect you. So what we did is we fired 3 shots here. We shot, and then we came back here, 3 more shots, and they all ended up within pretty much about, I would say about 1.25 inches, something like that. So it did pretty good. Holding 0, I wouldn't say it has a problem with 5.56 ammunition. All right, guys, so now we're going to take this out to 300 yards. With our 25-yard 0, we should be able to hit the man-size steel target out here. So let's see what we have. I guess, guys, that proves that the Pinty Optic is pretty good.
I'd say it does pretty
All right,
well.
we've been dodging showers. I'm going to keep this brief. This is not the Pinty red dot, by the way. Okay, how would I rate the Pinty all in all? I would say it's probably a 3 out of 5. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. And I'll tell you why it's not great. The mount is the weak point. The mount didn't feel like it was quality aluminum. When you were tightening up on the threads of the nut, which is very similar to this one right here, it felt like you were going to strip them. It wasn't necessarily getting any tighter. But with that said, it held up on a 22. It held up on a 223 5.56. It held up on a 7.62 by 39. We've got all kind of bugs out here today. It held up on a 12 gauge with birdshot. It did not hold up on the 12 gauge with turkey shot. So, or the, I think it was the Longbeard ammunition, which is a little stout for a turkey load, but it didn't hold up for that. And I know some guys are going to want to put them on it. So I did try that. For what it is, I would say it'll do good on a 22 long rifle. I would say a 5.56, put some Loctite on it. You know, with that rapid fire, that's going to be where you might find an issue. We didn't have any issue with it, but you might find an issue with that. It's always possible. I would also say the front cap kept loosening up on the Pinty. You don't have that with the Bushnell here. The rear cap, oddly enough, didn't. I didn't like the emitter on the Pinty, but it had nice clear glass. It was very, you know, it felt like a good field of view, even though that emitter kind of bugged me at the beginning. And we were able to get some really good shots out at distance. It held 0. I mean, that's about all you could hope for, really, in an optic. So, I mean, the clicks were every bit as good as this Bushnell. I can't complain with that. It doesn't have a cantilever style mount like this Bushnell does. It doesn't have the brighter settings. It doesn't have the lower night vision settings like this, but all in all, it had a lot of nice features to it. And I would say if you're looking for a budget optic, it might be something you want to check out. It's a good optic. I mean, I liked it in a lot of ways. It's really good on the range. Maybe that's the best purpose for it. So guys, if you like this review, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.